Hi guys, Billy back, and this time we are looking at the 1/6 scale Blade Warrior figure by Present Toys. Now I don't know who exactly they could be referring to. It's a bit vague, isn't it? Blade Warrior. I mean, I'm looking at the picture, just a generic silhouette of some random guy. Who knows? Do you know what I mean? You just never know with these figures, but I thought I'd buy it and take a chance. But either way, it'd be interesting to look at what it's like. Okay, coming in and having a look at the box, you can see it's got Present Toys up the top. It's got a lovely silhouette of a character here, Blade Warrior written down there with this really cool tattoo motif. Oh, I hope that's on the figure somewhere. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? And then turn around to the side, you can again see Present Toys with a logo up the top. And then on the back we've got Blade Warrior, warning, choking hazard. I like looking at the back here because sometimes you can see some misspelling, and I can't really see any misspelling right now. Nope, no spelling at all, but a lovely design on the back here. Lovely flushed red as well, it kind of pops quite nicely. And again, Present Toys on the side. And that's about it. Okay, I have to figure out how to get into this box now. I don't actually know. And it is a slip sleeve, so we've got another box underneath. Let's have another look. Ah, might have a bit more of a clue about who it is now. Come here, you. Yeah, no, I still have no idea who this could be. But anyway, on this inside box you can see you've got "Do You Think I Forgot About You" written on top, which is actually a reference from the first movie. And then you've got Blade Warrior again down there. A really cool looking picture. It's quite nice, high res. It's not awful. I think they've done a pretty good job overall, simply because it could have gone and looked even cheaper than this, but I don't know, it looks pretty nice to me. And then on the side we've got a fanged mouth with Present Toys logo on. And again, we've got all those warnings on the back as before. And then up the top and the bottom, we've got Blade Warrior again. And that's about it. Okay, let's open this up and see exactly what we get. What I really like about these Present Toys boxes is they're quite slim, quite thick, but they, you know, everything's compact. It's really packed in there, you know, nice and tight. So it actually ships really well, you know. I absolutely love that, and it saves you space in your house, because the bigger the box, the more space it takes up, the less likely you are to keep it. So it's nice to actually have somebody who thinks about that when they're actually making and producing these figures. Okay, and it seems like we have 3 layers, or 2.5 shall we say. We have the front layer with the figure, we have the second layer with the accessories and the base, and that base, oh my god, that is big. Yeah, but then you also get a third one, and it's sort of like half in there. It's got his jacket in there, and it looks like it's got some holsters, and that's about it. But overall, nice compact design, sleek, decent. I actually like the slip sleeve a lot more than the actual box itself. I think that just gives it a nice presence. It's not too much. Alright, let's get this out. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, coming in, have a look at the accessories. He comes with quite a bit, as you can see. Now, this is the first thing he comes with, which is a replacement puffer jacket that you can swap over with his leather jacket. It's very nicely stitched. It's very nicely made, actually, and it's not too thick. You'd be worried about that, but it's actually reasonably thin. So once it's on the figure itself, I don't think it'll be too bad. But for me, I think this is like a costume he wears in Blade 3. I'm not 100% certain. But yeah, oh, it's also got some magnets on it, which is nice. So you can just do it up with the magnets rather than trying to fuss with snap fasteners to break or anything like that. I actually really appreciate that. And then, of course, he's got this holster, and this holds his guns in, and it looks really good. It feels like real leather. I'm not certain if it is or not. It smells like it and looks like it, but it could be pleather. But it looks like real leather to me, and it smells like real leather, so who knows. And but it looks really good. It fits well. It's got all these little silver buckles on there that work really well. Yeah, it's magnetic here with the fastener. Just put this on, snaps together very nicely. He also comes with his iconic sword. Now, I really like the handle and the hilt here. It looks really good. Nice details. The lines are great. The little details down here in the actual handle are good. Well, nice. It's quite shiny and glossy. I quite like it, and yeah, I absolutely think the blade looks really nice as well. It is plastic, it's not die cast, which is a bit of a shame. But one of the slight issues that I've got with it is that when you're sliding it on, see if you can hear it. You can hear that it's rubbing against that plastic quite a lot. So once you do this over and over again, look, there's a bit of plastic came off here, and it just, I had to wipe it off. There's another bit of plastic on there as well. So if this keeps happening, I think it's going to scratch up the paintwork. See how kind of, if you want to pose with it, fine. If you want to keep it in the holster, fine. But swapping it in and out lots and lots is really going to tire out the silver paint on that sword, I think. So it's probably best to choose one or the other and then don't mess about with it too much. And of course he comes with a bunch of hands. He comes with 2 gripping hands that he's already got on him. He's also got 2 gun holding hands, and again another gripping hand and a slightly more expressive left hand. And overall the details on these are really nice. I think they work pretty well, and yeah, I can't really complain about them. There's not a lot to write home about. It's a fairly safe set of hands. There's nothing really that would identify these as different from any other set that have come out. And then of course he comes with this sort of Uzi machine gun, and again it's really nicely painted, but it is a little clean. You know, there's no weathering. I think maybe get a little bit of gunmetal acrylic and gently dry brush all these bits here. It will look a lot better. But yeah, you can pull out the clip or the magazine, sorry. But yeah, other than that, yeah, it's pretty nice. Nothing slides back on it or anything. Overall pretty nice. And then of course he comes with these glaives, and yeah, I really like how these fold up. The detail in the middle is pretty nice, but it is a tad, let's see if I can zoom in. You can see the detail in the glaive itself is pretty nice, but yeah, it's a little bit spotty once you really zoom in. But overall, very good, and I like the fact that it folds out like this. Yeah. And he also comes with these 2 garlic injectors that are really cool. They go on his hands, and yeah, they slide in and out, which is really nice. They're a little loose, I must admit. Yeah, it would be nice if they slid out and actually stayed out, because they sort of rattle around a little bit. But yeah, they're still pretty cool, and I think these work well. I think these were Blade 2 actually. And then of course he has these 2 pistols, and these are really good. I do like them. Again, not a lot of weathering. Slightly disappointed by the lack of weathering on these guns. I think they could have done just a little bit more work on it, but yeah, I guess they were trying to get it out the door. But yeah, this slides back, and of course you can pull out the magazines like that, which is a nice detail. It's always good. But yeah, you can see the nice little bit of silver paint on the end of the gun there as well. So I do like it, yeah. And what's Blade without his sunglasses? And they are semi-transparent. You can sort of see my finger going in and out of the back there, which is quite cool. Nicely detailed. I will say that the arms are a tad thick. I would have preferred they were a little bit thinner, but also I think these will be a bit more sturdy and last a little longer, so that will be good. Overall very nicely detailed. And then quickly coming in and have a look at the stakes, you can see that they are actually real metal as well, which is really cool. So yeah, that is a nice touch. And then finally, let's zoom out again. You can see that he has his stand. It's huge. It's a big old base, which will be good for some people, because then they go, oh, what's this here? Is this some sort of, I think it's some oil on it or something. I could probably wipe that off. It'll be okay. But yeah, it's pretty impressive. Yeah, look, there's a bit of oil down here. It looks a bit rough. It's do you see what I mean? It's sort of shiny in bits and rough in others. It's not the best in terms of cleanliness. I'm hoping that can be wiped off, because that does make it look a little cheap. And then on the back, nothing. And then on the front is just that sticker transfer. Again, very nice touch, but yeah, it is a bit of a shame that it's not a bit cleaner around here. I'm hoping that can be wiped down. But I can't even tell if this, it seems like it's got scratching all the way across this. I'm not sure if there's like a plastic covering over it. Get off. Remove that, and oh yeah, no, that is nice. Yeah, that's much better. That looks way better. The nameplate is very cool. But it's a shame that this bit on the front looks like this. Yeah, it's a bit, it's a game of give and take with this stand, to be honest. There's a really nice nameplate, looks nice and shiny, really high quality. And then you've got the sticker here that looks like, I'm not sure if that's a scratch on it or if it's actually as part of the transfer. But I had some sort of smudging on here that I might be able to clean up. But the roughness around it isn't consistent. It's like slightly more rough here than here, and there's lines in, and yeah, it's a little bit, yeah, plastic's a little bit naff there, which is a bit of a shame. But overall, if you're looking for a stand and you're going to have him in action poses, this will be nice and big that you can show him off on. Most people aren't going to be looking at that front bit of the stand anyway, they're going to be looking at the figure. But yeah, for me, for my collection, for my room, I usually use custom stands because they're smaller and they take up less footprint, and that works for me. So in my personal opinion, I'd prefer it if it was smaller, but it's not a big deal because I can always swap it out and use a different one. And then anyone who wants a nice big base to get him in wide stances and stuff, you've got one. Okay, that's it. Let's have a look at the figure itself. Okay, so here he is just straight out of the box, and I've put him on his stand for a second, and I'm actually liking what I'm seeing overall. This is actually a pretty nice figure. It's not blowing me away, but it is really, really nice. And I think there are some nice details in here. Now, some people have said that the head sculpt is possibly a recast of the Hot Toy. I don't know. I don't have the original Hot Toy to compare it to. But if it is, then they've done a pretty damn good job with the recast. They've got a lot of detail in there, and the paint applications are good. The eyes are not wonky, which is always a bonus with a sort of recast. But yeah, overall I'm quite liking it. But yeah, coming in and have a look at the head sculpt. Now I do have some bright light on it, but yeah, you can see there's veining in the side of his head here, and there is actual skin texture around the head. Really like the furrowed brow there. The eyes are nice and glossy. He's got really nice details around the lips. The moustache isn't too thick, it isn't protruding too much. It does look a tad soft, but nothing too bad. And then coming around and look at that hairline, look how perfect that is, all the way around. And then of course you've got this tattoo transfer on the neck and the back of the head, and my god, that looks good. That looks really good. Yeah, I'm liking that quite a lot. Look at all the details, and look, it sort of goes lighter up around the hair here where he's had it shaved. That's a nice little touch. And yeah, I have to say I absolutely like what they've done with this overall. If this, yeah, again, like I said, if this is a recast, then well done. They've done a good job at painting it and making it look less recasty, I suppose is the word. But then coming down and looking at the jacket, this smells like real leather. It looks like real leather. It's got some nice details all the way down here, all the piping down the side of the jacket. It does have some wire in the bottom. The inside red lining is really nice and smooth. Feels like real coat lining. Yeah, I don't really see any problems. Even the stitching underneath here, all the way along the bottom here, looks really, really good. Just, yeah, I got no problems with that. Now, one of the problems some people said is that the jacket, the arms are a little thick, but if it's real leather, then it probably will pop out a little bit thick. But yeah, they do look a bit stiff. You might want to rough this up and fold it up a little bit to try and get it so it doesn't look so new, because obviously it wasn't a new coat on him. But damn, it looks good. Yeah, I do like it. It's a shame there's no lining down on the inside here. It's only in the bottom. So yeah, that is a tad shame, but overall the details there are nice. Now, one of the things is when you take this off here, you can see he doesn't really have much traps, and that's because if he did have traps, when you put the coat on, this thing would be probably floating above his head. So what they've managed to do is they've brought it down and he's got no traps here. But if you take this off, then you'll have to do a lot of futzing to get all of this stuff up, because you do not want it all the way down here, because it will look like he's got a giraffe neck. But that's not a problem. I'm not going to pose him without the coat. The coat's iconic, man. It's like Neo from the Matrix. You've got to have the coat on him. So it's not going to bother me too much. But yeah, if you're going to do some stuff, maybe you might want to put some padding in the shoulders there. And speaking of the vest, yeah, details are good. Look at this. Look at the little panels here and stuff. Does this open up? Come on, open. No, it doesn't open. Doesn't feel like it opens anyway. Come on. Bet you can. No, it's been stitched. Okay, all right. I'll eat humble pie on that. But yeah, overall, the details are great. I mean, when you look at this, you see Blade straight away. I do anyway. So yeah, this is quality for me. I remember going to the cinema and watching this in '98. I really like these buckles here. They are plastic, I think. They don't feel metal. They're not cold to the touch or anything, so I'm guessing they're plastic. And he's got the same one under his trousers here, holding it together. He's also got this harness belt here that you can put stuff on. Look down here, it looks like real leather trousers again. Really nicely stitched, and they're really fine as well, just around the pockets. Sometimes the stitching can be too big, but not on this guy. It's nice and fine. And then of course he's got all these metal stakes here, silver stakes on his leg, which is a really cool touch. and it comes down into the boots. And look, they've even got the right colour skin body, which is rare for a third party. Sometimes they just get, if the body's not being shown off, they'll just get a bog standard Caucasian body and use that instead. But no, they've actually gone the full hog and at least given him sort of like an African American skin tone, which is great. Yeah, I'm not as huge a fan of the boots. The details are okay, they look good, very nicely detailed. The buckles are good, the laces are good, but there's no split cut, so there's no movement in the ankle. There's no pivot or anything, or forward and back. There's barely any movement at all. You can swivel it left and right, but yeah, that is a little bit disappointing. I would have liked to have seen a split cut boot there. This guy is an action hero. You want him to pose in action poses, and that boot's going to restrict that a little bit. Bit of a letdown in my opinion. But yeah, overall, stitching's good. The materials are really good, real leather, thank God. Nice, but it feels soft as well. Doesn't feel like a really stiff, rigid leather. It feels nice and soft, it feels malleable, and it feels very, very good. So I think that is a really good sign. Hopefully that leather will last quite a while, especially if you get some 303 leather wipes. Okay, articulation wise, he can lean about that much in the head. He can swivel all the way around 360. He can lean forward about that far, lean back about that far. Now in the arms, the shoulders, he can T-pose pretty easily. There is a bicep swivel. The arms can come out all the way forward like that, which is really, really cool. But again, it does pull the coat back a little bit, so you'll have to futz that. This is nice. The double jointed arm in the elbow is ratcheted, so you can really get that in tight and it can hold it. And that's really good because the leather, while it is soft, can still be a little bit stiff, but that ratcheted joint really holds the arm there. And then the hands are on wrist pegs and they spin all the way around, and they can go up and down a little bit. Torso wise, he's barely got any movement because of that jacket on there, but he can spin left and right pretty well. The hips, the leg can go out to there if you're doing one, or he can do the splits to about there. And then of course you've got the leg that can go all the way forward, and it's on a ratchet joint as well, so that can come out to almost 90 degrees, which is really cool. The knees are also on ratcheted joints, so it's double bend there. There is a thigh swivel, but unfortunately, as I've pointed out, the boot doesn't have much movement at all. But overall, with those ratcheted joints, that's a very nice body. It does work really, really well, and I'm so impressed by it, to be honest. Yeah, I really, really like that. That body is going to last a while. So overall, what do I think? Well, I really like the leather clothes. I think they're fantastic. I really like the ratcheted joints on the body. That helps with longevity. I really like pretty much all the costuming, to be honest. The sunglasses look good. The head sculpt is painted really well. It looks very nice. But I do have a few niggling problems with it. One is the lack of split cut boots really does limit the articulation of this guy. There is also the potential to catch the clothing inside the joints, but that's with most 1/6 scale figures. And the base, while I was posing him around on it, started to get a bit scratched and scuffed up from those boots, which again is a bit of a shame. I knew it probably would happen, but it's just not nice to see, to be honest. If they'd have given it like a sort of matte film over the top or some sort of coating to really help protect it a little bit more. And I just don't like the overall plastic presentation of the base itself. The sort of rough and smooth textures all the way throughout just makes it look like a bit of a rush job. And if this is the level that So-So Toys have to beat, given their previous history of figures, I think they could easily beat this. With the extra head sculpt, I think they're bringing out one with a screaming face, which will be really cool because you'll be able to show Blade's fangs. Not only that, but if they can give us a pair of split cut boots and a bit more of a reasonably decent base, which I know they can, yeah, I think So-So Toys could beat this. But for the moment, this is a very nice figure. If you were on the fence about getting this guy, I'd be inclined to maybe try and look for the So-So Toys figure more than this Present Toys version. But if you can't, you'll be quite happy with this one. It still looks good, it feels good in hand, and I really like the leather clothing. But that's about it. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Do me a favour now, if you can get that out of Mike Cave. I'm going to go put this guy on the shelf. I think he's probably going to go next to the Matrix Neo. Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.